Medieval Europe, 1,000 years of clashing steel, echoing battle cries and unimaginable brutality. From the frozen wastelands of the north to the sun-baked battlefields of the south, the very air crackled with violence. But some were different. Join me as we delve into the annals of history and uncover the 10 most vicious armies of medieval Europe. In the untamed wilds of Scotland, a new breed of warrior emerged, forged in the fires of a centuries-long struggle for freedom. These were no knights clad in shining armor, but hardened men of the hills. Their loyalty to clan and country absolute, their weapon of choice, the fearsome Scottish schiltron. Imagine, if you will, a solid wall of steel, a bristling forest of spears advancing with unwavering resolve. At Stirling Bridge, the very ground seemed to tremble as the English cavalry, weighed down by their armor, charged headlong into the waiting pikes of the schiltron. The result was a massacre. Hundreds of knights were unhorsed, their armor proving no match for the relentless thrusts of the Scottish spears. The River Forth ran red that day, a testament to the schiltron's effectiveness and the Scots' unyielding determination. From the frozen north, we travel south to the shores of the Baltic Sea, where a different kind of terror reigned. Here, under a banner of twisted piety, marched the Livonian Brothers of the Sword, an order of warrior monks as dedicated to their cause as they were ruthless in its execution. Tasked with Christianizing the last vestiges of pagan Europe, these heavily armored knights carved a bloody path through the Baltics. In 1236, at the Battle of Sol, the brothers faced a new enemy, the Lithuanians, a pagan people determined to defend their ancestral lands. The clash was apocalyptic, a maelstrom of steel and fury, and by its end, the might of the Livonian Brothers of the Sword was broken. Our journey now takes us to the sun-drenched shores of the Byzantine Empire, a realm of shimmering mosaics, political intrigue, and an ever-present undercurrent of violence. It was here, in the heart of Constantinople, that one of the most formidable and feared military units in history, the Varangian Guard, made its home. Imagine, if you will, towering figures, their faces weathered by icy winds and countless battles, their eyes burning with an almost feral intensity. Armed with their iconic double-headed axes and shields as tall as a man, the Varangians were a terrifying sight on the battlefield. They fought with a berserker fury, a primal rage that seemed to make them impervious to pain or fear. Their presence alone was often enough to quell unrest, their reputation for ruthlessness preceding them like a storm cloud. For centuries, the Varangian Guard stood as the bulwark of the Byzantine Empire, a wall of iron and fury that protected the emperor from countless enemies, both foreign and domestic. Chapter 4. The Teutonic Knights' iron fist of the Northern Crusades. Our journey now leads us east, to the lands bordering the Baltic Sea, where the Teutonic Knights, fueled by religious fervor, rose to power. Clad in polished armor, their white surcoats emblazoned with the Black Cross, the Teutonic Knights were a force to be reckoned with. They were the disciplined fist of the Northern Crusades, their mission to conquer and convert the last pagan tribes of Europe. At the Battle of Grunwald in 1410, the combined forces of Poland and Lithuania met them head-on. The battle raged for hours, but by day's end, the Teutonic Knights lay shattered. Their defeat marked a turning point in Eastern Europe and a reminder that even the most powerful empires are not immune to change. Chapter 5. The Almohad Caliphate, or Scourge of Al-Andalus. From the battlefields of the Baltic, we journey south to the sun-drenched plains of Iberia, where a new power forged in the crucible of religious fervor and driven by an insatiable thirst for conquest was on the rise, the Almohad Caliphate. Emerging from the deserts of North Africa, the Almohads, a Berber dynasty united by a strict interpretation of Islam, swept across the Strait of Gibraltar like a whirlwind. At the Battle of Alarcos in 1195, the Almohad war machine, led by the Caliph himself, crushed the forces of Castile, leaving behind a trail of carnage that shocked even the most hardened veterans. Their strict religious policies, while uniting them initially, alienated many within their own ranks, and their brutal treatment of those they conquered, both Muslim and Christian, sowed the seeds of resentment that would eventually lead to their downfall. The Almohad Caliphate, like a desert storm, was as powerful as it was fleeting. Chapter 6. The Mongol Horde, harbingers of destruction. Our journey into the heart of medieval brutality now takes us east, to the vast steppes of Central Asia, where a new power was emerging, a force unlike anything Europe had ever seen: the Mongol Horde. Led by the legendary Genghis Khan and later his grandson, Batu Khan, the Mongols were a nomadic people, their lives spent on horseback, their skills with bow and arrow unmatched. Their armies, vast and seemingly inexhaustible, swept across Asia and Eastern Europe like a plague of locusts, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair. The Mongol warriors, clad in leather armor, their faces hardened by years of constant warfare, were masters of psychological warfare. Though their reign of terror in Europe was relatively short-lived, the Mongols left an indelible mark on the continent's psyche. Their legacy serves as a stark warning against underestimating the power of a people united, however brutal their methods. Chapter 7. The Black Band Mercenaries Without Mercy. Our exploration of medieval Europe's most ruthless armies now brings us to the heart of the Renaissance, a time of great artistic and intellectual flourishing, but also a period marked by constant warfare and political intrigue. It was in this crucible of conflict that one of the most notorious mercenary armies in history, the Black Band, rose to prominence. Comprised largely of Landsknechts, German mercenary pikemen known for their distinctive flamboyant clothing, and even more so for their brutality, the Black Band struck fear into the hearts of friend and foe alike. Cities that had the misfortune of finding themselves in the path of the Black Band often met a grim fate. Though their reign of terror was relatively short-lived, the Black Band left an indelible mark on the history of the Renaissance. Their story serves as a chilling reminder that even in times of great progress, the capacity for human cruelty knows no bounds. Chapter 8. The English Longbowmen, Reign of Arrows, Harbingers of Death. Our journey through the annals of medieval warfare now takes us to the rolling hills of England, where a new breed of warrior was emerging, one that would change the face of battle forever: the English longbowmen. These were not knights clad in shining armor, but common men, farmers and yeomen, armed with a weapon as simple as it was deadly, the English longbow. At battles like Crécy and Poitiers, the French knights, weighed down by their armor, became easy targets for the English longbowmen, their charges collapsing into chaos under a relentless rain of arrows. The longbow was more than just a weapon. It was a symbol of English military might, a testament to the skill and discipline of the common man. The English longbowmen, with their simple yet deadly weapon, left an indelible mark on the history of warfare. Chapter 9. The Swiss mercenaries, masters of the pike, merchants of death. From the rolling hills of England we journeyed to the towering Alps of Switzerland, home to a breed of warriors as renowned for their discipline and effectiveness as they were for their unwavering pursuit of profit, the Swiss mercenaries. These were not soldiers fighting for king or country, but professional soldiers, highly trained, fiercely independent, and loyal only to the highest bidder. At the Battle of Murat in 1476, the Swiss, outnumbered by the Burgundian army, used their superior tactics and discipline to crush Charles the Bold's forces, effectively ending the Burgundian Wars. Their reputation for unwavering professionalism and ruthlessness in battle made them the most sought-after soldiers in Europe. The Swiss mercenaries remain a fascinating and often controversial aspect of military history, a testament to the shifting loyalties and brutal realities of warfare in the late medieval period. Chapter 10. The Vikings, Terror from the North Sea. Our epic journey through the annals of medieval Europe's most brutal armies culminates with the stuff of legends, the warriors whose very name still evokes images of primal fury and unstoppable savagery, the Vikings. Emerging from the mist-shrouded fjords of Scandinavia, the Vikings were more than just raiders and plunderers. They were skilled sailors, navigators, traders, and explorers, their influence stretching from the shores of North America to the Caspian Sea. From the sacking of Lindisfarne in 793 AD, which marked the beginning of the Viking Age, to the conquest of England under Canute the Great, the Vikings left an indelible mark on the course of European history. Their raids, though often brutal, also led to cultural exchange, trade, and the establishment of Viking settlements and kingdoms across Europe and beyond. The Vikings were more than just agents of chaos, they were a force of nature. their impact on medieval Europe as profound as it was enduring. From the disciplined Roman legions to the ferocious Viking berserkers, medieval Europe was shaped by war. Stories etched in blood and iron remind us of human spirit's power, its capacity for good and cruelty. The clash of swords, the screams of the dying sounds of a continent in flux, where empires rose and fell, civilization tested by war. Emerging from the past, we remember sacrifices made and the legacy of those who fought. Their stories remind us of peace's fragility and the need for compassion.